Yeah. Hi guys, good evening. Online students, can you hear my voice? Yeah. Good evening, everyone. What we are discussing in the last session? In the last session, we are trying to understand what are access modifiers or specifiers available in Java. So what is the purpose of access specifiers? They are used to specify the accessibility for our classes, constructors, variables, and methods. That means who can access our class, who can access our variable, who can access our constructor, who can access our method can be controlled by using access modifiers or specifiers. So there are four modifiers available. One is public, second one is private, third one is protected, fourth one is default. When to go for public? When we want to provide the global access for the classes, methods, variables, and constructors, then we can go for public. Public means it is a global, anybody can access that. Right. Next one, what is private? When to go for private? What is private? When to go for private? Private means local. Within the class, we can access private methods and private variables. If I declare the variable or method or constructor as a private, we can call them or we can access them within the class. We cannot access them outside of the class. Then what is the use of protected? Same package as well as outside also subclasses can access. If I make my class as a private, what will happen? Is it valid? Can I declare class as a private? No, class cannot be declared as a private. Compiler also cannot access. JVM also cannot access. That's why private is not used for the classes. Variables, methods, constructors can be declared as a private. If I declare my class constructor as a private, then what will happen? If I declare the class as, if I declare the constructor as a private, then what will happen? We can create the object only within the class. We cannot create the object outside of the class. If I declare variable as a private, within the class we can access the variable, outside the class we cannot access. If I declare method as a private, we can access that method within the same class, but we cannot access that outside. So we need to be very careful when we are working with access modifiers. All right. So today we are going to understand encapsulation. That is one of the most important principle in the OOPS concepts. We discussed about OOPS concepts, right? ये भाई देखो कैसे सुन रहा है क्लास आराम से सो के परवेश नींद आ रहा है क्या right so we are trying to understand what are the OOPS principles. Could you please remember, do you remember what we discussed about OOPS? Yes, OOPS having four principles: encapsulation, abstraction, inheritance, and polymorphism. Any programming language which is supporting for those principles, it is called as object-oriented programming language. Only Java is object-oriented language? No, not only Java. There are so many languages available which is supports for OOPS principles. Any language which is supporting for OOPS principles is called as object-oriented programming language. Java is supporting for OOPS principles. That's why Java is called as object-oriented programming language. All right. So now in the OOPS, there are four principles available. object-oriented programming language having 4 principles. Do you remember what are those principles? What is the first one? First one is encapsulation. Second one is abstraction. Third one, polymorphism. Inheritance is available. And polymorphism is also available. Encapsulation, abstraction, inheritance, and polymorphism. What is inheritance? Right. What is encapsulation? Combining variables and methods. Combining variables and methods is called as encapsulation. Combining variables and methods as single unit. Combining the variables and methods as a single unit is called as encapsulation. The main purpose of encapsulation is data hiding. If you want to hide the data inside your class, then you can go for encapsulation. The process of combining variables and methods as a single unit is called as encapsulation. What is the example for the encapsulation? Java class. Java class is the example for encapsulation. Then what is hiding the unnecessary details, hiding unnecessary details and providing only useful information, that is called as abstraction. How to achieve the abstraction? Abstract classes and interfaces. There is a concept called abstract classes and interfaces. By using abstract classes and interfaces, we can achieve abstraction. The process of hiding unnecessary details and providing only useful data is called as abstraction. The process of combining variables and methods is called as encapsulation. Combining variables and methods as single unit is called encapsulation. Java class is the example for encapsulation. It is used for data hiding. Then what is abstraction? Hiding unnecessary details and providing only useful information is called as abstraction. Abstract classes and interfaces are the examples for abstraction. What is inheritance? One class, the process of extending. What is that? The process of extending properties from one class to another class is called as inheritance. The process of extending properties from one class to another class is called as inheritance. What is the main reason going for inheritance? Code reusability. It is used for, what is the meaning of code reusability? The code which is already available, we can reuse. If programmer 1 developed some classes, developed some methods, I can access them directly by using inheritance. Accessing the properties of one class in the another class is called as inheritance. The process of extending properties from one class to another class is called as inheritance. The main reason of going for inheritance is code reusability. Then what is polymorphism? What is the polymorphism? Exhibiting multiple behaviors is called as polymorphism based on the situation. Exhibiting multiple behaviors based on the situation is called as polymorphism. Objects will exhibit multiple behaviors. In the Java, everything will be represented as a object. Objects will exhibit multiple behaviors. Objects will have multiple forms. And objects will exhibit multiple behaviors. Object क्या हुआ? Can you call them, guys? Guys, online people, 1 minute. Guys, wait 1 minute. So we are facing a mic issue. I'm not talking anything. Give me 1 minute. Okay. Huh? Wire wala. Iba kota ya, pate ya. Yeah, right. Guys, we are trying to understand what is polymorphism. What is polymorphism? Exhibiting multiple behaviors based on the situation is called as polymorphism. Objects will exhibit multiple behaviors. All right. So OOPS principles we are trying to understand. Initially, procedure oriented programming languages available to overcome the problems of pop languages. OOP languages came into picture. When we can call one language as a OOP language, when we can call one language as a OOP language? Yes. If the language is supporting for OOPS principles, then we can call that language as a object-oriented programming language. OOPS principles: encapsulation, abstraction, inheritance, polymorphism. The process of combining variables and methods as single unit is called as encapsulation. The main advantage of going for encapsulation is data hiding. Java class is the example for encapsulation. What is abstraction? Hiding unnecessary details and providing only useful data is called as abstraction. Abstract classes and interfaces are available to achieve abstraction. Next one, inheritance. What is the meaning of inheritance? Extending the properties from one class to another class is called inheritance. We can say it is a parent and child relationship. Parent properties can be inherited by child class. Parent class properties can be inherited by child class. The main use of going for inheritance is code reusability. The code which is developed by one developer can be reused by another developer. Then what is polymorphism? Exhibiting multiple behaviors based on the situation is called as polymorphism. Objects will exhibit multiple behaviors. All right. Now let's go for encapsulation. It is used for data hiding. It is used for data hiding. We will combine classes, we will combine variables and methods as one single unit using class. Class is one of the example for encapsulation. Java class is one of the best example for encapsulation. Java class is one of the best example for encapsulation. All right. Guys, now, whenever we are working with Java classes, we are going to write class as a public. What is the meaning of a public class? Global access. Public class some student. Public class some student. Inside the student class, I will write the variables integer id string name. Integer id string name. What is the scope for the variables? Global. No, global or default. Did I specify any modifier? No. If I don't specify any modifier, what is the default scope? If I don't specify any modifier, what is the default scope? Default. Okay. If I specify my variables as a public, then anybody can access my variables. My variables contains the data. What is the main purpose of the variables? Variables are used to store the data. Now I'm taking a class public class student. Public class student. So these are used to modify value. These are the variables which are used to store the data. But it is not at all recommended to declare variables as public. Security reasons. Why? Because my variables will represent the data. My variables will represent the data. For example, if I take the class as a bank account, I'm taking the class as a bank account. ID, name, and public double balance. What I'm doing? Double balance. If I declare my variable as a public, what is the problem here? Everybody can access my variables from outside. They can create the object. They can modify values of my variables. Are you guys getting my point? Here I am storing ID is equal to our account number. Instead of ID, I'm giving account number long. I'm taking long account number. So this is my bank account number. Assume that. This is my bank account number. And I'm taking name, holder name. Name is group of characters. So I'm taking as a string. Balance is a decimal value. I'm taking as a double. I'm storing this balance here. Assume that my account is having this much balance. Got my point? Here I'm taking a class, creating a class called bank account. Inside that class, I'm writing the variables. And inside this, I'm writing a method public double get balance. What is the method I'm writing? Double get balance. Can I do this dot return? Can I return like this? Return this dot balance. Is it valid? What is the meaning of return? What is the meaning of return? To return some value from the method. What is the return type of the method? Double. Now what I am returning? Balance. What is the data type of the balance? Double. So is it valid? Is it valid or not? Yes, it is valid. It is valid. If I write the program like this, what is the problem? What is the problem if I write a code like this? Sorry? What is the variables modifier available? Public. So if it is a public, can anybody create the object? Can anybody access my variables? Can anybody modify the value? They can modify my account number. They can modify my name. They can modify my balance also. Is it recommended to declare variables as public? If I declare variables as a public, everybody can access my variable. If they access, I don't have a problem. When the problem will come? If they modify the value. If they access my variable, there is no problem. But if they modify the value, I will lose my data. I'm going to lose my data. For that reason, we are not going to declare variables as public because of security reasons. We are going to lose our data. If you declare the variable as a public, we are going to lose our data. Anybody can access our variable. Anybody can modify the value of the variable. That's why in the real time, in every class, variables will be declared as a private. Variables will be declared as a private. Why I am declaring variable as a private? That variable value, that variable can be accessed only within the class. Outside people cannot access the variable, cannot modify the value also. So now tell me, variable should be declared as a public or variable should not be declared as a public? Should not be declared as a public. What is the reason for that? Come on, what is the reason for that? Security. People can modify the value directly by accessing that outside. Do you want to allow other programmers to modify the value of your variables? No. How to secure that? Hiding. Data hiding. I have to hide my data. I want to hide my data. Then I'm going to take my variable as a private. What will happen if I declare my variable as a private? What will happen if I declare my variable as a private? Only within the class I can access the variable. Outside the class I cannot access. Nobody can access my variable from outside of the class. My variables are private. From now onwards, remember that variables should not be declared as a public. If you want to declare variable as a public, some variables will be available whose data is constant, static variables. What is the static variable? Constant. That is common for all the objects. Any variable which is holding some common data, any variable which is not related to object. Static is not related to object. Any variable which is holding static data, which is common for all the objects in the project, that variable we can declare as a static. That static variable we can declare as a public because object to object data is not going to change. But what about the instance variable? Instance variable nothing but every object will maintain its own copy of the variable. Now when you are dealing with instance variables, we need to go for private. What is the advantage if I go for private? What is the advantage if I go for private? Security. Nobody can access my variable. Nobody can modify the value of my variable. Within the class, I can access. Within the class, I can modify. But outside the class, nobody can do that. That is the reason in the projects, we are going to create the variables with a private modifier. Okay, advantage we understood. Can you tell me what is the advantage? Nobody can access the value of the variable outside. Nobody can modify the value of the variable outside. That is advantage. But there is a disadvantage also. Disadvantage is there is no reusability. Are you guys getting my point? So whatever the variables you have declared, I cannot reuse them. I also want the same variables. Can I reuse your variables? You are one programmer. I am another programmer. You created a class. You declared some variables. Can I reuse your variables? No. Why? These variables are private variables. We cannot access them outside. So when you declare variable as a private, advantage is available as well as disadvantage is also available. What is the advantage? What is the disadvantage? Nobody is allowed to modify the value of our variable. You can't change my variable value. That is a advantage. What is the disadvantage? No reusability. There is no reusability. Now, Java is strict to OOPS principles. Java is a secured programming language. Java is a OOP language. Java should support for security and Java should support for reusability also. Are you guys getting my point? Now, for reusability, can I change this as to public? If I make it as a public, I can achieve reusability. What I am losing? I am losing security. If you want to achieve something, you have to lose something. This principle you have to apply in your life also. If you want something, you have to lose something. आपको दोनों चाहिए तो नहीं होगा. If you want job, what you have to lose? Your extracurricular activities. Chatting, games, watching movies, roaming on the roads, गर्लफ्रेंड के साथ चिट चैट, ये सब आप बंद करना पड़ेगा. You have to stop all these things for next 6 months if you want to get the job. Do you know how much important that job is? 3 generations are dependent on your job. Do you realize? If you get a job with a 10 lakhs package or with 10 lakhs package, 80 to 90,000 salary you will get. Your parents will feel very happy. आपका पापा retirement ले सकते हैं. Yes or no? Your father can take rest or not. He is working from so many years to give you food and life, whatever it is. He is spending his time, he is earning his money, he is giving that money. You are using your father's money to survive in the Amirpet or Hyderabad, whatever it is. If you get the job, he can relax, he can take the rest, his life is settled because uska bachcha ko job mil gaya. And next one, your life is settled. You can purchase good clothes. You can purchase whatever you want with your money. You can go to hotel, restaurant, enjoy कर सकते हैं आप. आपका life settle हो जाएगा. Once you get married, if you have good money, you can give quality life to your wife and your kids. How many generations are dependent? 3 generations are dependent. Your father and mother, you, your kids. If you have money, you can give quality education for your kid. अगर आपके पास जॉब नहीं है तो उसको गवर्नमेंट स्कूल में भेजना पड़ेगा. Yes or no? You know, in the India, how government schools are running. एक ही फैकल्टी सारा क्लासेस लेते हैं. 1 to 5, one faculty only. 6 to 10, 2 to 3 faculties. They will teach every subject, but they don't know what they are teaching. Understand my point? And now in the engineering colleges also same thing. एक ही faculty सारा languages. Database, Java, C, what is that? Applied physics, EDC, some subjects are there. One faculty will teach all the subjects. Amara chindi colleges. Because of those colleges, we are here today. Yes or no? If you get the quality education in the BTech, why you will come to Amirpet? You will get selected in the campus interview only. So you are not gone through the proper education system. Our education system is not good. You are not able to understand the, do you know, recently for our institute, we got one inquiry from Dubai. They are one apartment people in the Dubai, they are staying. They are Indians only. They went to Dubai. They got jobs in the Dubai. They got settled. For their kids, they want Python training. There are 7 kids are there. For them, Python training is required. They had an agreement just for 7 people. Python batch 2 lakhs 45 days. It is a batch wise amount. I agreed. I thought that they are from some masters or bachelors. Do you know who joined for the class? 6th class students. 6th class. They are 6th standard. That too, they don't have a time to attend the classes regularly because they have assignments from the school. Weekly, they have given 2 days for the Python training. Their timetable is busy. They don't have time to attend the classes also because they have the assignment. They have to submit the assignment. If they don't submit the assignment, punishment for their parents. Their parents has to go to the school if they don't submit the assignment. That is how they are running the education. 6th class students are doing the programming. They are building the applications. They are building the apps. 6th class people. Samjha? And you know, in some international schools, father, mother graduation is mandatory if you want to join your kid. That is how education system is there. Schools are getting changed. Colleges are not getting changed. Schools are already changed. In the international schools, education system is changed. Java is there for 8th class, 9th class people in the ICSE syllabus. In the ICSE, Java is there for 8th, 9th, 10th standard. But we are not done from the international schools. We have done our schooling from Chindi school, Chindi college. इसलिए हम अमीरपेट में बैठा है. So you have to change your mindset. Now, do you want to send your kids to government school now? Why? वो भी हमारा जैसे बन जाता. Yes or no? Again your kid will come to, हाँ. Again your kid will come to अमीरपेट. यार अशोक सर कहाँ हैं? उस टाइम मैं भी बुढ़ा हो जाऊंगा ना. I can't take the classes now. So you need to be very careful about this job. This is very important. You paisa pe ko tamasha dekho. If you have more money, then you can join your kid in the international school. Then he will get quality education. He will develop the Java applications once he come to 5th class or 6th class. That person will ask you, Papa, inheritance kya hota hai? He will ask you in the 5th class only. Inheritance kya hota hai? Polymorphism kya hota hai? That programming got introduced in the 5th standard in the international schools. And do you know what is the fees for the student in the international school? For 1st class, 2nd class, 3 lakhs donation, 2 lakhs fees. In the Hyderabad, there are international schools available. 1 year advance, you need to book the seat. If you want to join your kid in the international school, before 1 year, you have to pay the donation. Then only they will confirm the seat. If you go now, मेरा बच्चा आ गया, I want to join. Wait for 1 year. Next year we will take him. That is how the demand is there in the international schools. Understand? You have to realize that. Last week, this happened. One of my cousin want to join his kid in the DRS International School nearby Kompalli. I have been along with him to join that kid. They told that admissions are closed. You have to wait for next year. That to pay 3 lakhs donation to confirm the seat for next year. That is the demand. 3 lakhs only per donation, 1st class. School fees 2.5 lakhs. Donation 3 lakhs. So how much you have to earn now? Samjha? You have to prepare accordingly. Yeah? That is the situation now. After 2 years, after 3 years, situation will be worse than this. He is earning, he is working for Microsoft. He is getting 3 lakhs per month. Huh. Right. I'm working in Ashok IT, man. मुझे salary भी नहीं मिलता. I don't have a salary. Good. Right. So we are trying to understand what is encapsulation. What is encapsulation? It is used for data hiding. We will combine variables and methods as single unit using class. Class is the best example for encapsulation. Java class is one of the best example for encapsulation. I'm writing a class with the variables. What is the modifier I'm taking for the variables? Public. What is the problem if I go for public? Now I am recalling why that nonsense topic came in the middle. Yeah, if you want to achieve something, you have to lose something. So now I want to achieve security. If I want to achieve security, what I have to lose? Reusability. If I want to achieve the security, I will lose the reusability. To achieve the security, I'm going to keep my variable as private. Yes, nobody can modify the value of my variable. My data is secured, but I lost reusability. Nobody can use the properties of my class. Java is OOP language. It has to support for security. It has to support for reusability. But my program supporting for both are not supporting for both. Not supporting for both. Understand? Now, to support for both, Java introduced one concept called setter methods and what are that? Getter methods. Okay. Now, in order to provide security, I am using private modifier for my variables. So if I take my variable as a private, nobody can modify the data of my variable. Nobody can access the data that is available in my variable. But people who want to reuse my variables, I will not allow them to access my variables directly. Boss, I have my variables, but you cannot access them directly because my data is available. You cannot, you should not modify the data of my variable. But if you want to access them, you can access by using setter method and getter method. Just I am providing the accessibility for my variable, but they cannot modify data of my variable. For that, we will go for a concept called setter method and getter method. For every variable, one setter method will be available, one getter method will be available. Setter method is used to set the data for the variable. Getter method is used to get the data from the variable. Now, how to write setter methods and getter methods for the variable? That is most important thing. If you go for IDE, just with one button click, you can generate setters and getters. But we have to understand the syntax first. Let's take one variable integer ID. For example, I have a variable integer ID. Now variable is having which modifier? Private modifier Q. I don't want others to access the data of my variable directly. So that's why I'm taking my variable as a private, but security is there, but I lost reusability. I want to have the security and I want to provide the reusability. For that, for this variable, I am going to write one setter method. What is the purpose of setter method? To set value for the variable. To set value for the variable. Then what is this? Getter method. What is the purpose of getter method? To get the value of variable. Setter method is used to set the value. Getter method is used to get the value. Now, what is the date? What is the name of the variable? What is the name of the variable? ID. What is the data type of the variable? Integer. Right. Data type is integer. Variable name is ID. We need to follow proper syntax to write the setter method and getter method. Public method should be public. Why public? Others, with our main intention to provide the reusability. Others should be able to access. If I write my method also private, no use. There is no use because they cannot call it. Now I'm going to write the method as a public. Now setter method to set the value. What is the responsibility of the setter method? Just to set the value. Don't return anything. Your आपका काम just set the value. You are responsible to set the value. You no need to return anything. So what is the return type? Void. Public void. Setter methods will start with a keyword called set keyword. Setter methods always will start with a keyword called set keyword. After set keyword, we need to write the variable name. What is my variable name? ID. But here camel case format I need to use for the first character of the variable. Do you know variable naming convention? Camel case. Variable will start with lowercase. Next word first character will be uppercase. But here variable, whenever you are writing a setter method for the variable, method will start with the set keyword. The first character of the variable we will convert to uppercase. Then the remaining characters. ID. What is the data type? Integer. Integer ID. Then we need to initialize this method parameter value to current class variable. How to initialize that? This dot ID is equal to ID. They are modifying my variable value, or they are setting the value to that variable which is belongs to copy of the object. Setting the value to the which variable? For my variable or copy of the variable? Copy. Why copy? This method is a public method. In order to call this method, they will create the object. Every object will maintain its own copy of the instance variable. They are modifying my value, or they are using my variable. They are not modifying. They cannot modify. Why they cannot modify? My variable is a private, but can they use my variable? Can they store some data to my variable? How they can store the data to my variable now? How they can set the data to my variable now? By calling the setter method. Public void set ID. Method parameter is ID. Method parameter value they are storing into current class variable. Method parameter value they are storing into current class variable. Are you guys getting my point? Yes. So now tell me, what is the purpose of setter method? What is the purpose of setter method? Setter method is used to set the value for the variable. Now I want to get the value. I want to get the value, whatever the value I have stored. I want to get that value. Now method should return the data. So now what data this method has to return? Int. Why it has to return int? The variable data type is a int. So I need to take my method return type as a int. Public int get ID. This is responsible for just getting the data. This is responsible for getting the data. Return this dot ID. What is the meaning of this? What is the meaning of this? It is used to represent current class or current object copy of the variable. They are modifying my value, or they are just setting the data, getting the data. They are just setting the data and getting the data. you need to write your variables as a private variables to protect them, to secure them, and to provide the reusability for every variable. We will write one setter method and one getter method. We will write one setter method and we will write one getter method. Are you able to follow me? Now, so why I'm going to take variable as a private? Why I'm writing variable as a private? To provide the security. I don't want others to modify value of my variable. I don't want others to modify the value of my variable. So setter method is used to set the data. Getter method is used to get the data. Setter method is used to set the data. Getter method is used to get the data. For every variable, we will write one setter method. We will write one getter method. Understand? Now I have a class. This class having three variables. Let me take two variables first. Long account, string name. Can I write setters and getters? Yes or no? Now first I want to write for account variable. I want to write for account variable. Yeah, tell me the syntax. Public void set account. Valid. क्या करना? A should be uppercase. A should be uppercase. What is the parameter? Method parameter should be the data type of the variable. Setter method parameters, because I am writing this method to set the value to this variable. So this variable is belongs to which data type? Long data type. So that data type you need to take as a parameter. Okay, long parameter. Whenever this method, whoever call this method, they will pass this value. Whoever call this method, they will pass this value. This value I want to store into this variable. Come on, how can I do that? Why this? If I don't use this, you are gone. That will become a local variable. Always I need to store this local variable data into instance variable. How can I do that? This dot account is equal to account. Now tell me, what is the purpose of set account method? To set the data for account variable. My variable is a private. Can I access private variable here? How come? How can I access private variables in the method? Same class. My variable and the method available in the same class. Private members can be accessed within the class, cannot be accessed outside of the class. Getting my point? Yes. This dot account is equal to account. What is this account? What is this dot account? This is a local variable. This is instance variable. What is the meaning of this line? Local variable value we are storing into instance variable. Can I say I'm doing initialization? Can I say that I'm doing instance variables initialization? How I am doing instance variables initialization? Setter method. Setter method should be public or setter method should be private? Setter method should be public. All right. Now, can you tell me how can I write the getter method? Come on. Public void. No, not void. Why? Getter method. I want to get the value. Method should return the value. If method want to return the value, return type is required. So what can I take Boolean? No. Why? What is the variable data type? Long. So method should return only long value. My method return type should be long. What is the method name? Can I take M1? No. Why? That should be a getter method. Get account. A should be capital. Parameter? No, because it is responsible to return, not for taking. Setter method responsible to take the data. Getter method responsible to give the data. Yes, tell me. how it has to return? Return this dot account. Return this dot account. Okay. Similarly, can you tell for name also? Yeah, come on. Public void set name. Parameter. What parameter? String. Why? Why string? String name. String name, because I want to set the data for the name variable by using this setter method. Name variable is a string data type. So my method will take the string value, will store into name variable. Public void set name of string name I am going to take. Now tell me how to set that. This dot name is equal to name. This dot name is equal to name. I want to write a getter method. Public string. Are you sure? Yes. Public string get name. Public string get name. Next one. Return this dot name. This dot name. Are you able to understand how to write the setters and getters? Yes. What is the purpose of setter? What is the purpose of getter? Setter method is used to set the data. Getter method is used to get the data. Every variable will have two methods. One is a setter method. Another one is getter method. Are you clear with this? Yes. Now let's write one program on this. If you go for IDE, you no need to write like this. I think you have seen my Eclipse shortcut video. There I have explained with a single click how can we generate setters getters for the variables. That just now admin people told me one of our student asked them, if I don't get the job, will you refund my money? Yes, I already told that in the demo session. I am standing with the same point. But my question is, why are you getting that doubt now only? Will you refund my fees if I don't get the job? First of all, you need to have that confidence. I will get it. To be frank, in the Amirpet, no faculty will teach Java like this. After listening to this class also, if you are not getting the confidence, means there is some problem. You have to fix it. You have to fix it. Right? So always we need to do the work with a positive mindset. If you get that negative thought into your brain now, you can't give your 100% for the practice. First you have to fight with that. Whether we are going to win or lose, वो 6 महीने के बाद पता चलता. After 6 months you will understand whether you will win or lose. You have to try. I think in the social or somewhere in the school we studied Gajni Muhammad or Gori Muhammad. उसका नाम क्या है? Gauri Muhammad. 17 times he failed. 17 times he failed. He got success in the 18th attempt. So success is not easy. You have to fight for that. If you fail for first time, second time, third time, you should not bother. You have to give your 100% effort. As I told you, I got rejected in the 10 interviews. I failed in the Java subject in my BTech. I failed in the data structures because at that time I don't like these computer languages. मुझे mathematics अच्छा लगता था. Right? I used to like physics. I used to like chemistry, but destiny is different. Whatever the subject I failed, I am teaching that subject now. Understand? So you should not worry about that. 10 times I rejected in the interview. In the 11th interview, I got the job. So always you need to work with a positive mindset. You need to work with positive mindset. You try. If you don't get the job, then definitely I will give your money wapas. There is no problem. Okay? But from now onwards, don't think about that. So do your work, practice, spend your time. For some people, they are able to understand within 1 hour. For you, it may take 2 hours or it may take 24 hours, but try for that. After 24 hours, after 48 hours also, if you are not getting the concept, then there is a problem. And you people are lucky. You guys are having backup video access. Tomorrow, one more batch is starting. It is only offline. For them, no videos because I'm not going to record the sessions and all. It is a directly offline class. You guys are lucky. Understood? Yeah. Because it is a directly offline class for them tomorrow. Directly they will listen to the class, they will write the notes, they will go. Understand? You have the video. After having the videos, listening to the live classes, why are you getting into negative thought? I may not get the job. So don't think about that. Don't think about that. Just do your work. Result, maybe success, maybe failure. We should not bother about that. In the starting stages only, if you have negative mindset, you cannot become a programmer. You cannot become a programmer. Got my point? Just take me as an example. ये बंदा बीटेक में जावा में फेल हो गया, अभी अमीरपेट में ट्रेंडिंग हो रहा है. Yes or no? The reason, effort, the hard work that I have done, the work that I have done, that made me best in the market. So same thing you have to do. If you are not able to understand, you have the notes, you have the video, you can come for the lab, you can discuss with the people, you can sit and you can practice. If you do practice for more times, then you will get more clarity on the subject. So remove that negative thought from your brain. Work with positive mindset. Nothing is impossible, man. Right. So we are able to understand what is private and what is public, when to go for private, when to go for public. So variables we are going to declare as a private. Methods we are going to take as a public. All right. Save this. Go for our examples. Delete everything. Good. Now I'm taking one class with a name called bank account, or let me take it as just account. Right? Public class account. Now I want to write the variables. How many variables I can take inside a class? Is there any limit? No limit. You can take any number of variables, whatever you need. Now I'm going to take integer account number. Is it valid? Variable naming convention? Yes. Now can I take string name? Yes. There are two variables, account number, name. Now is it recommended to write the variables like this? No, it is a default modifier. What modifier I have to use for the variables? Private. Why private? Security. Others should not be able to modify the value. Right. I'm going to take it as a private. Yes, I'm able to achieve security, but I lost reusability. I'm able to achieve security. People cannot modify the value of my variable, but people cannot reuse. How can they reuse my variables now? How can they reuse my variables now? By using setter methods and getter methods. Can you tell me how to write them? Public void set account number, integer account number. Now what we need to do? This dot account number is equal to account number. This dot account number is equal to account number. All right. This is a setter method. Then how to write a getter method? Public int get account number. Do I need to take any parameter? No. What should I do? Return this dot account number. Return this dot account number. Setter method, getter method available for one variable. What about the next variable? Same. Can I write that? Yes. Public void set name. String name. String name. This dot name is equal to name. This dot name is equal to name. Next one. Public string get name. How to get that? Return this dot name. Return this dot name. Now, can I say I am combining my variables and methods as one unit? Yes or no? I have a class. Inside the class, I have the variables and I have the methods. Can I call it as a encapsulated class? Can I call this as an encapsulated class? What is the definition for encapsulation? The process of combining the variables and methods is called as encapsulation. Java class is the best example for encapsulation. Java class is the best example for encapsulation. Okay. Variables are available. Variables declared as a private. Variables we want to reuse in the other classes to provide the reusability for the variables we are writing. Setter method and getter method. Setter method is used to set the data. Getter method is used to get the data. All right. Account class is available. Let me go for test class. I'm creating another class called test class. Very good. Inside this test class, I am writing main method. Can one Java class talk to another Java class? By creating the object. Now, in order to create the object, we need a constructor. In order to create the object, what is required? Constructor. What is a constructor? Bhul gaya. It is used to initialize current class instance variables. Creating the object means calling the constructor. Creating the object means calling the constructor. My class have a constructor or my class does not have a constructor. IDE na automatically compile ho jata. So when the class is compiled, what compiler will do? Default constructor will be added if there is no constructor available in the class. So now constructor is available or constructor is not available. It is not visible, but it is available. Constructor is not visible, but it is available. Who added? Compiler. Can I call it as a default constructor? See man, how good you are responding. Is Java difficult? Then why are you thinking like that? I may not get the job. Java is easy. Java is easy, but you have to learn in the right direction. You have to learn in the right direction. Java is not difficult. People made it difficult. Your seniors will tell, "Arey, Java is a ocean, ra. If you go into Java, you will not come out, ra. Java is very difficult language, ra. Coding is very difficult, ra." So that kind of words people use it to tell, right? But do you need to believe them? Do we need to believe them? No, because we are seeing practically. It is not difficult, but it will take time. It will take time. That's it. Today in the market, no technology having openings. After this corona is completed, no technology having openings except Java. Only Java people are getting the calls because the demand is there for the Java people. That the demand will be there everywhere. Everywhere. For Java, always openings will be available. Always openings will be available for Java. Why? 3 billion projects are running on the Java. If the project is running, support is required. So Java people are required. Java people are required. If a project, 100 people, if a project is there, 100 Java developers, only 10 testers, 2 database people, 3 DevOps people. If a company get a new project, do you think that they will take 100 DevOps people for the project? क्या करेगा? साफ करना है क्या? No. If the project comes, they will take 100 Java developers because more programmers are required, less administrators are required. And nowadays, everything is automated. Deployments, testing, Selenium is there, automation testing, DevOps is there, automate the deployment. But can we automate the code? Can we automate the code? For everything, automation is coming, but for coding, there is no automation. You have to write it. That's why programmers are always required for the IT. Programming job is the safest job in the IT. They cannot replace the programmers. DevOps people can be replaced with programmers. Testers can be replaced with programmers. Programmers should be replaced with another programmer only. Yes or no? Is there any tool which will replace the programmer? If I tell the requirement, tool will write the code? No. Programmers are always required. Always jobs will be there for the programmers. If a company is in a recession, if there are no projects, do you know what they will do first? Bula, our testers kahan hai? Bye. Tata, bye bye. From tomorrow, you no need to come because my developers can do the development plus testing also. So that's why programming jobs are the safest jobs. More opportunities will be there for the programmers. If a company is in the loss, if a company is in the problem, if a project is cancelled, the first thing is company will remove testers. because क्या करेगा वो लोग? A button दबाओ, A button हम भी कर सकते हैं ना? Clicking on the button and checking is working or not. 10th class student also can do. What is there in the testing? Nothing. So that's why when there is a recession, testers are the losers. Testing job is always dangerous. Got my point? But programmer, if they remove you from the company, testers can do the code. DevOps people can do the code. No. Again, they need to recruit another programmer. Programmers will be replaced with programmers only. Testers can be replaced with anybody. So that's why programming job is the most safest and secured job. And more jobs will be there for programming only. But in the colleges, what our friends will tell, programming is difficult. Yes, it is difficult. That's why companies are paying lakhs of rupees. If you do easy job, who will pay the salary, man? If you do the difficult job, then only you will get more paisa. If you want to get more money, you need to do the difficult task only. Understand my point? Maturity should be there. All right. So here we have a class called account. There are two variables available. Variables are declared as a private. For every variable, I am writing one public setter method, getter method. Setter method is used to set the data. Getter method is used to get the data. Now, I have created one more class called test class. Inside the test class, I have a main method. Now, can I create the object for the account class? Yes. Can I create the object? Yep. Tell me the syntax. Account object is equal to new account. Variable name can be anything. What is this? I'm calling the constructor. Constructor is available or not available? Compiler will add it. If you don't write it, compiler will add it. What will happen when the object is created? Memory will be allocated. Now, is it going to modify existing data of the instance variable, or it will create its own copy of the instance variables? It will take its own copy of the instance variable. That means they are modifying my variable data, or they are creating their own copy. Now, can they use my variables by creating the object? Can they directly access object dot account number is equal to some value? Valid or invalid? Invalid. Why? Variable scope is what? Private. That means can be accessed outside, cannot be accessed outside. Cannot be accessed. But is there any way? Yes. What is that? Setter method. Setter method is a static method. Setter method is the instance method. Instance. How to call the instance method? By using object. Do you have the object? Yes. Now tell me how to call that. Object dot set account number. It is expecting some number. What it is expecting? Some number. Now I want to set the name. Come on. object dot set name. I want to set object dot set name. Yes, I'm able to create the object. I'm able to call the setter methods. Why I am calling the setter methods? To set the data. Okay, I'm able to set the data. Can I get the data? How can I get the data? Obj dot get account number. What is the return type? What is the return type of get account number? Integer. Can I store that into int value? How can I do that? Integer account number. Integer account number. I want to get the name also. Come on. Object dot get name. Object dot get name. So this get name is my method or predefined method. Our method है ना भाई, हम लिखा ना वो मेथड, वो कैसे प्रीडिफाइंड होगा? हमारा मेथड है वो. हाँ? No, we should not. हम लिखा ना भाई, हम लिखा था ये मेथड. Java providing this method or I am writing this method? I am writing. I am following the naming convention. I am writing that method. ये मेरा method है. That is our method. That is not predefined method. Got it? Huh? Huh? You can change it. No problem. Yeah, you can change it, but that is not the standard. That is not the standard. You can change it. Okay. Huh. Right. Object dot get name. What is the return type of the method? String. Can I store the method return value to a variable? Can I store the method return value into a variable? Yes. How to store it? String name. String name. Yes. Tell me what I am doing in this program. I'm creating the object for account class. I'm setting the data to the variables and I'm getting the data from the variables. Now, can I print that? System.out.println account number plus some name. That's it. That's it. So I'm creating the object for the account class. Can I say account class is secured? Can I say account class is secured? Can I modify the value of the variable directly? It will not allow. Why? Variables are private. Account class can be reusable. Am I able to access the methods in another class? One class methods I am calling in the another class. That is called reusability. That is called reusability. Yes, run this program. I need to run account.java or test.java. Test.java. Why? Main method is available in the test class. One Java class creating the object for another Java class, setting the data by using setter methods, getting the data by using getter methods. All right. Right click, run as Java application. Am I able to run? Am I able to set the data? Am I able to get the data? Yes, I'm able to set the data and I'm able to get the data by using setters and getters. Good. Completed. With this, we understood what? Encapsulation. Okay. Now, guys, let us see here. We are going to take one more class called, for example, I'm taking a class with a name called person. Taking a class with a name called person. Private integer ID, private string f name, private string l name, private string gender, private long phone number, private string city, private string state, private string country. Now, can we write the setters getters? Yes or no? For every variable, one setter method, one getter method. Can I say it is a repeated task? Yes. Do we really need to write it? No. Can I generate them? How? Constructed. Shortcut. Now, see here. I have the variables in the class. Can I say these variables are private variables? Yes. Now, right click. Source. Do you have the option to generate getters and setters? Can you see the option? Right click on the program. For which class variables you want to generate the setters and getters, just go to that class, right click on that class. You have the option called source and you have the option called generate getters and setters. You can generate parameterized constructor also. There is the option. Okay. Now observe. Right click, source, generate getters and setters. It is asking for which variables you want to generate the setters and getters. I want to select for all. If you want to select only setters, just select only setters. If you want only getters, select only getters. If you want to select all the variables, setters and getters, select all. Access modifier. Do you want to use a public, or do you want to use a protected, or package, or private, final, synchronized? I don't want them. I want only public. I want the public modifier for the getter methods and setter methods for the all the variables. I have selected all. Click on generate. Magic. Are we able to get the setters getters for all the variables? Yes. Do we really need to write that? Our IDE is intelligent. Our IDE is intelligent. For every variable, you see set ID, get ID, set name, get name, set first name, get first name, set first name, get first name, set last name, get last name, set gender, get gender, set phone number, get phone number, set city, get city, set state, get state, set country, get country. So for every variable, setters and getters are generated. क्या कैसे होगा? It is not predefined method, man. These are our methods only. We have generated them. We have generated them. You no need to use that option also. Right now, tell me what is the option I'm using to generate the setters getters? Right click, source, generate getters and setters. If you keep your cursor here, it will generate here. If you keep a cursor here, it will generate there. Position. Yeah, I'm keeping my cursor after the variables. Right click, source, generate getters and select setters. Select all. Click on generate. Are we able to get them? Yes. Now, instead of this, you can use a shortcut. Alt Shift S R. All the 4 keys you have to press at a time. Alt plus Shift plus S plus R. It's better to right click source generate. So shortcut is there. If you want to generate setters getters from the keyboard directly without right clicking on the source generate option, Alt Shift S, दोनों hands काम करना पड़ेगा. With one single hand you can't press that because 4 keys you have to press at a time. Then only it will generate the setters and getters. That is the shortcut. Alt Shift S R. When you press Alt Shift S R, this pop-up will open. That is the shortcut. I'm doing that once again. Observe Alt Shift S R. That pop-up is opened. Then I will do select all. Click on generate. Now all the setters and getters are generated. In future, when we go for advanced Java, we no need to write these setters and getters also. There are some tools available which will generate it directly. There is a concept called Lombok. Project Lombok is available that will write the setter getters for our variables. If you see in my project, we don't write the setters getters manually. We no need to generate also because there is a tool. That tool will add the setters getters for the variables. If you have attended the class yesterday Java real-time project, some student asked me, are you going to cover the Lombok or not? What is that Lombok? Lombok is used to generate the setters and getters for the variables. You no need to write that also. You no need to write that also. Let me show you. Yes. Anything, any class I can take. Yeah, guys. See here, I have a class. I have a class. Can you see my variables are public or private? Private because of security. I don't want the people to modify the value of the variable. Do I have setters and getters? Can you, am I writing them? No, the reason is there is one annotation called @data. This annotation will generate setters, getters, constructor, everything for our class. Single line. That single line of code will provide you setters, getters for all the variables. Sir, what is the proof? Now, if I remove this @data and if I save, now you see my class name is what? Education. Expand this class. Now, can you see there are 4 variables available? There are 4 variables are available. Is there any setter method, getter method for these variables? Can you, when I expand, is it displaying? No. Let me do @data. Yes or no? They are coming or not? That means, am I writing them or my Lombok is taking care of that? Lombok is taking care of that. By using that Lombok, we can generate the setters and getters by default for our variables. Single line is replacing 30 to 40 lines of code. It's a separate. बाद में मिलेगा. हाँ. Not oops guys. Lombok is separate library tool. Yep. Lombok is a tool. Now currently we are writing these many lines of code for setters getters, but in future are we going to do this? What we will do? We will use Lombok. If I use the Lombok, it will generate the setters and getters for our variables. We don't need to write it. We don't need to write. Good. So advanced Java. Yes, in the advanced Java we will learn that. Once you join in the company, pata chalega. Life is easy technically if you are strong. Yes, right guys. So with this we understood what is encapsulation. What is encapsulation? Combining the variables and the methods. The process of combining the variables and the methods as a single unit is called as encapsulation. What is the main advantage of going for encapsulation? Data hiding. Variables we are declaring as a private, methods we are writing as a public. Why we are declaring variables as private? People should not allowed to modify the values of my variables. That's why I'm taking them as a private. Now I want to provide the access for the variables for outsiders also. For every variable I'm writing one setter method and a getter method. Setter method is used to set the data. Getter method is used to get the data. So we are able to do one example. I have taken a class called account. In that two variables are there. Those are private variables. For those two variables, I have created setter methods and getter methods. Now I am able to create the object for the account outside of the class because that is having a public default constructor. So creating the object nothing but calling the constructor. By using this object, I'm able to set the data for the variables by calling setter methods. I'm able to get the data by calling getter methods. Able to set the data, able to get the data. Setter methods are available, getter methods are available. Do we need to write the methods manually? Do we need to write the setter method, getter method manually? No. IDE is there. We can generate them. What is the shortcut? Alt or Shift S R. If you don't remember the shortcut, what is the approach? Right click, source, generate, setters and getters, or select all the variables. Then it will generate. In future, are we going to generate them? No. Lombok. In future, in advanced Java, we will go for Lombok. Lombok is a tool. What that Lombok tool will do? It will add setters, getters for the variables. You don't need to write it. You don't need to write it. So going forward, tools we are going to use to simplify our work. To reduce our work, there are some tools available. Got it? Fine. Any questions? Clear? All right, guys. Thank you. With this, I'm stopping for today. We'll continue in the tomorrow session.